don't think there's any agency in the world that should operate without oversight. And especially something as important as family court. It seemed to me, based on actually inappropriate conversations between the judge and the director, that they tended to disbelieve allegations of domestic violence. I remember the judge would call us into these morning staff meetings that actually were not permissible under the law. But she would call us into chambers before we heard any cases that day, and we were having ex parte communication about how the court should handle the case. And I remember a conversation between the judge and the Family Court Services director saying, "Oh, Mrs. So-and-so is back. I can't believe it." And the judge said, "She's so histrionic. I think she's completely exaggerating her domestic violence claims." And the director said, "I agree." And they said, "Yes, we need to make sure that these kids have more time with their father." And unfortunately, that was not an isolated incident. There were conversations that I heard repeatedly during the last year of my employment that led me to believe that domestic violence victims were looked at as whiners, as weak people who needed to learn to get along with their perpetrator for the sake of their children. The judge and the mediators would tell parents terrible things would happen to their children if they weren't able to reach an agreement on behalf of their children. The judge and her predecessors held up a picture of a young man and would yell at parents in the courtroom, "If you two can't learn to get along, your kids will end up pregnant, on drugs, or like this young man who committed suicide on the day that his parents went to court and failed." I was so distraught at what I was being asked to do because I felt like I was in a position where I had to either protect my job and myself and my family and our income, or to protect the families I was working with. And it's put me through hell. I went out on stress leave. I went through a full arbitration process where the arbitrator found in my favor, but not before they had fired me from my job. And it's outrageous to me that nobody is providing oversight of the court aside from the court. There is a conflict of interest there.